Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good day. Here are your warm-up questions for today, so go ahead and pause and try them, and then I will go over them. Alright, hoping that you tried those now and are ready to go over them. So for this first one, we're looking for the area of the sector. So that is where you do area. It's a circle, so pi r squared. Remember, that's on the formula sheet I gave you yesterday. If you were absent yesterday, you're going to want to ask the substitute for both a formula sheet as well as a packet. So we have a equals pi r squared, and then it's always going to be the angle over 360 because that is the part of the circle we want. So in this case, that's going to be a equals pi. The radius is 5, not 10. And then it is 30 over 360. You type all of that into your calculator, and out pops approximately 6.5. So that is how you do number one. Number two, it's asking simply for the area, and that's a triangle. Don't be worried about what you have as far as numbers. It's just still the same thing. The base is 5 radical 2. The height is 4 radical 6. So this is simply 1/2 5 radical 2 times 4 radical 6. You can type all of that into your calculator if you want to and get the approximated decimal. So in that case, it would be 0.5 times 5 radical 2, and then times 4 radical 6, and that gives you approximately 34.6. So it's fine if you want to leave that as your answer, or if you got that answer, you're absolutely correct. It is 34.6. What I wanted to remind you of is if you are multiplying this, all of the coefficients, so 1/2, 5, and 4, can be multiplied, giving you 10. I'll do this in a different color just to say that it's something separate. So 10, and then the things under the radical can be multiplied, so the 2 and the 6. From here, this 12, if you factor tree that down, because you have a pair of 2's, it becomes, I'll put it over here, a equals 10 times 2 radical 3, doing the simplified radicals, so this would be 20 radical 3 as a final answer. You didn't need to do that, I just wanted to take the opportunity to quickly review that. Alright, so for today's lesson, you're going to need this out. It's the second sheet of your packet. We're going to go over that, and if you were absent yesterday, you need to ask for packets. I left them on my desk for you, so you just need to ask. The quiz tomorrow, I just wanted to remind you, these are the 3 things on it. So area could be like, hey, find the area of this, find the area of this, and you have to remember that height is that guy. It also could be find the area of this, where you have a triangle and then half a circle, or a circle on top of a rectangle. Any of those kinds of things, that's the area part. You are given your reference sheet on the quiz. Sector, area, and arc length. This is when you have a circle and I ask you for the area of this degree. So this is where you do a equals pi r squared, and then you have the angle over 360. The other one, arc length, is where you do, so sorry, area was that one. Arc length is this one. It's going to look the same, but this time I'm asking for part of the circumference. So you're going to start with the c equals pi times diameter, and again, it's times angle over 360. Okay, and you've done this before. It was in your last Delta Math assignment. You should be good. Cross sections is the final one, where I could show you a cylinder, for instance, and say what would happen if you cut it parallel to the base. Okay, you would get a circle. What would happen if you cut it perpendicular to the base? You'd get a rectangle. Diagonal, you'd get an oval or a rectangle, depending on. So that would be one of those kinds of questions. Another one would be if I give you an axis of symmetry and I say what would happen if you spun that around, it would become a cone. Those types of questions. We're not going to volume yet. We're still working on that, but these 3 things you should know how to do at this point, so that's what tomorrow's quiz is on. All right, so let's get started with today's. So today is working backwards to find dimension. The first thing you're going to want to do is write down the official name for whatever it is you're looking for. So in this case, that's a triangular prism, and it's fine to abbreviate. I'm just saying you want to know what the shape is. You would go to your volume formula. The only volume formula, I just wrote prism instead of pyramid. Goodness gracious. Pyramid. Sorry about that. Okay, triangular pyramid, because that's what this is. Capital BH. Now, in this case, I have the volume. They gave it to me. So I'm going to put 10 in for my volume, 1/3 area of the base times height. Height in this case is x. It's what I'm looking for. Here is what I wanted to remind you of. This base is a triangle. So the formula I'm going to use is 1/2 base times height. So I have 1/2 and then 3 times 4. At this point, I'm going to use my calculator. When I do that, I get 10 equals 5x when I type all of that into the calculator. Divide by 5 on both sides, and I have 2 equals x. That would be 2 feet as my final answer. So I use the volume and I work backwards through the formula. All right, this next one is a cylinder. So again, I would write the word cylinder just to remind myself that's what I'm dealing with. Write the formula down, B equals pi r squared h. My volume is 6.28. My radius is unknown, and my height is 2. Now, if the height is too confuses you, I just want to remind you this cylinder is on its side. That is still its height. It's the depth of the cylinder. I need to divide, because everything's being multiplied on the right, both the pi and the 2. And now is where I want to show you on the calculator how to do that appropriately. So I have 6.28. Sorry, let me try that again. 6.28. And I want to divide 2 pi, or pi times 2. You have to put parentheses around that if you want it to work appropriately. So as you can see, when I hit enter, pi and 2 both are on the denominator. If I had not done that correctly, I would have another, like the 2 would be out here, or the pi would be out here. I need them to look like it looks on my paper. So I have 0.99493, and that is what I have for r squared. So now I have to use that to calculate the rest of what I'm doing. Again, as a reminder, I need to take the square root, so control x squared will give me the square root. Here, to get that number, you can do control answer, and it will show up, or you can just scroll up, highlight, hit enter, and then hit enter again, and you'll have that 0.999746. So that is your final answer for what the radius is. What I have to remind you of is that you're actually not even looking for the radius. You are looking for the diameter, because if you look, x is pointing to this whole thing, so then we have to times that by 2. So we have that is equal to r, so times that by 2 again, come back to the calculator, just hit times, it'll automatically copy that last answer, so times 2, and we have 1.99949, and that would be your final answer. I'm going to round that 4 to a 5, and that would be inches. Then we have a sphere, so we are going to grab that sphere formula. And the volume of a sphere formula is 4/3 pi r cubed. The volume is 33.51, and that is equal to 4/3 pi, we don't know the radius, cubed. Again, I need to first divide the 4/3 and the pi, so I need my calculator to help me out with that. So I have 33.5. In this case, I'm going to hit control divide to open up the fraction, because I need to make sure that it looks exactly how I have it written. I'm going to hit control divide again to make a fraction open up underneath my fraction. And then I have 4/3, go to pi, and it now looks exactly as I have it on my paper. So I have 7.99754. And then to undo a cubed, you have to take what's called the cubed root. So just like when you take the square root of something, when you have a cubed, you take the cubed root. So again, in my calculator, instead of doing control x squared, so this, where I get that button, I need an index to open up. So I hit control, the little caret next to the x squared, and then I can input a 3. Once I'm in the space that I want to type in, I can scroll up and hit enter, and it will copy that down. And then I have the 1.99979. So I have that as my final answer for my radius, 1.99, and I'll do 8 yards. The last question is an area. So we have our sector area we need to deal with. The sector area is going to again be area equals pi r squared times the angle over 360. I have 75.4 is equal to pi, the radius is 6 squared, The angle is what I don't know, over 360. I need to divide everything by pi times 6 squared because that's what I want to get rid of. And then I have x over 360. And again, I'm going to use the calculator to get me this next part. So 75.4 divided by, I need parentheses to do this because I want it to all go underneath the fraction. I also could open up a fraction to do it. So 0.666682. And then I need to get rid of the 360. So when you are dividing, to undo that, you multiply. So I'm going to multiply 360 on both sides. And I would just, again, go to the calculator, hit times. It's automatically going to put in the answer I just had. And I have 240.006. In this case, because it's an angle, that would be degrees, which we show with a little circle in the top right corner. So the rest of this worksheet is practice. I would like you to note that the directions say complete one in each row. I will check all homework assignments from this week on Friday. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later.